Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Beer Reviews with me, your host Jack. And we are having a beer we brought back home with us from Chicago tonight. And this one kind of sings to me on multiple levels, which is kind of awesome because one, it's another Floyds beer, who obviously I'm a big fan of, and having been to the brewery, were cool and they were awesome guys to me. So still have to thank them a lot for that. And because it also combines my love, which is probably going to be a surprise for some, of kind of like extreme death metal and grindcore and other bits and bobs as well. So this is actually a collaboration beer that Floyds have done with Cannibal Corpse, who I've seen probably 3 or 4 times live. And this is Amber Smashed Face. Which is, a riff on Hammer Smash Face, their kind of big hit that pretty much anyone who's in extreme death metal into it will probably know that song at least. But yeah, Floyds have done a few kind of collaboration brews in the past with other breweries as well. I would have died to have got my hands on one of the Pig Destroyer double IPAs, because Pig Destroyer are probably one of my favourite bands of all time. And they do it because I think it's great to link music and beer. Like, why? If you're passionate about one thing, why can't you be passionate about more things as well and link them together? So doing brews with the kind of favourite bands is a great way of getting exposure for the bands. Although Cannibal Corpse is quite big, and also for the beer in the brewery as well. They've got fantastic artwork in here. It's true to form for Cannibal Corpse. This looks like it could be one of their album covers, and will probably garner some controversy because Cannibal Corpse do that. They've got some pretty fucked up album covers, like Cunning Lingus on a Corpse and stuff. It's I understand it's a bit odd, but hey ho, I like the music. So we've got a guy eating his own intestines on this corner here, which is he's having a good time. A guy on a throne of corpses, blood, skin, something. Anyway, it's cool. Actually, speaking of which, I mentioned that album cover. That's the lady, I believe, from that album, indeed. Cool. So this clocks in at 7.8%. I haven't got a clue about any of the details of the beer at all. There is nothing online about it. I was hoping to try and find some, so I could at least give a kind of a heads up to what hops are in it or something like that, or some sort of malt bill, but there isn't anything. So we're going into this kind of relatively blind, which is cool. Into the glass, we have got a nice big fluffy head on the top, and indeed pretty much an amber beer underneath. Nice hints of rouge going on. It's not as dark as some amber beers I've seen. It's almost like a really dark copper, but it's looking pretty cool. Lacing like a beauty as well. So on the nose, hello. Ooh, that's big. That's really tropically juicy and kind of dank. That's got a heck of a lot more hop character than I thought it would do, actually. I thought there'd be a lot more malt going on in this, even though they do describe it as an aggressively hopped amber ale. There's a big punch of resinous hops and tropical fruit. There's kind of the quintessential Floyds malty aroma behind it all, but it has a heck of a lot of hops in it. It really is quite punchy on the nose. I really like that kind of weedy dankness as well. It's not the freshest of bottles. I haven't brought it home and it's been on an airplane, but I had one when I was out there, and it smells even more fresh in the bottle, ironically, than the bottle I had in Chicago. But hey ho, let's give it a try. Cheers. It's a really good, like, resinous hop hit, almost characteristic of a double IPA. The oily resinous hop feel in the mouth. That dank and piney note going all the way through it, and quite a lot of kind of sweeter citrus fruits, oranges and such, and a hint of kind of that nice juicy mango flavour going on as well. But definitely on the palate, it's got a lot more kind of complex malt character going on underneath it all. It's definitely got some kind of toffee caramel sweetness that the kind of ambering malts, pardon me, the carrots, the crystals, or whatever malts they've been using in it, are adding that malted complexity too. But I mean, you could pass this off as quite a balanced double IPA. I definitely think there are some maltier double IPAs out there than this. This has definitely got a big whack of hops to it. Way more than I would have thought of for just kind of just an amber ale, but for an amber ale, it's got this fantastic, resinous to it. They've dry hopped it to hell and back, I can only imagine. But it still retains a remarkable drinkability. There's not a humongous amount of bitterness, and that a little bit of toffee caramel is just helping it smooth out a little bit. So yeah, it kind of fits the band, really big and hoppy and aggressive, I suppose, which is kind of cool, really. And if you do see some around, then it's well worth checking it out, or check out any of their kind of band collaborations as well. They do some pretty awesome beers with some pretty awesome labels and artwork with some pretty awesome bands, particularly if you like heavy metal. There's a really cool documentary that I might as well give a little bit of a shout out to by Vice on their Munchies kind of side project, which is mainly about food and drink. And they have a series running on that called Kraftwerk at the moment. That's Craftwerk, as in somewhere between, well, I don't know, German experimental electronic bands and beer. And they've got a documentary going around Three Floyds and talk about the kind of the sci-fi geeky and also heavy metal aspects of the brewery. So if you do want to know more about that, and I think they do a really nice interview with Nick Floyd on there too. It's well worth a check out, and you get to see the kind of the internal workings of the brewery. Although it's a few years ago, because they've got the distillery now, and in the video they don't have that distillery, and they also show kind of out the back where they were going to grow some hops, and that was well underway when I was there over New Year. But it's still an interesting documentary. See where things are going with the company. So please like, favourite, comment and subscribe, and until the next beer review, cheers everyone.